The Winter War was an important war in Finnish history, seen as a Finnish loss in terms of land, but also win in terms of Soviets killed. Over the course of 3 months, the Finnish would lose 70,000, but also kill around 381,000 Soviets. The poor performance of the Soviets would eventually lead to Operation Barbarossa and the continuation war. But what if we made the overall Winter War be a win in Finland's favor? What if Finland won the Winter War? In 1939, the Finnish border was just outside Leningrad, now called St. Petersburg, and this was obviously a problem, because if Finland ever decided to invade the USSR, then Leningrad could easily be captured, crippling all Soviet naval power in the Baltic Sea. Stalin decided to speak to the Finnish government about buying the land just outside Leningrad, but after some offers and counteroffers, Stalin decided that diplomacy just wasn't worth it and invaded. I don't think that changing any of this will help Finland win. Instead, what we could do is apply forced conscription in Finland. While Finland was a democratic nation at the time, a poll back in 2016 suggested that over 75% of all Finns would be willing to defend their country in the event of a war. And if we apply that to a 1939 Finland, then Finland suddenly has lots of manpower ready to be used. Of course, the Soviets would always have more manpower as they have more population. However, with this extra manpower, we can guarantee that Finland will possibly be able to hold the front at a stalemate at the outbreak of war. What else can we change? Finland was already industrialized by the time they became independent, but did they have a war economy? Absolutely not. Finland was producing very few guns and ammunition for a small army, so if factories start producing more and more equipment, then when they use the spare manpower, they will have enough equipment to supply them. Even with these changes, could have Finland realistically won the war? No. The Soviets simply had more manpower and more equipment, so eventually the Soviets would have won. So the solution is simply to make this scenario very unrealistic. How? Well, we could have Hitler in Germany build up his forces even more than he already did, and start Operation Barbarossa by the start of 1940, while also crashing France. It sounds complex, but Hitler could be motivated by the fact that the Soviets are distracted in Finland, so he can easily take them by surprise. Now, it's important to mention that Finland won't be joining the Axis, as they were and still are a democracy at core, but we could have German cooperation to a certain extent. With German help, Finland could start pushing back the Soviets, while the people in Karelia start revolting too with Finnish aid. How far would Finland go? Well, since they're fighting a separate war to the Germans, they could, in theory, sign a peace treaty while Operation Barbarossa is still ongoing. If it were this case, it's likely that Finland would annex all of Karelia and the Murmansk area up to the White Sea. With a Greater Finland now created, what would happen? Well, all Russian power in the Arctic Sea is instantly crushed, as Finland now owns the Russian Arctic Fleet headquarters and indeed their only Arctic naval base. Even though Finland has just taken a lot of Russian land, I don't think that there would be many rebellions in the area, as the majority of the population there, even today, consider themselves ethnic Finns. Would World War II as a whole be affected? With an early Operation Barbarossa comes a faster World War. I don't think that Germany would be able to defeat the Soviets once the Finnish back out of the war. The only change is that Germany might lose faster. It's likely that Finland would possibly be a key NATO member going into the Cold War, as with an extended border with the main enemy of the USA and more aggressive policies, I think that Finland could at least try to become a NATO member going into the Cold War. But that's where this scenario reaches its conclusion. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe to the Alternate History Guild for more community made videos, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.